In today's video, we're playing this game mode on F124 before it's gone. I'm talking about Elimination mode, which goes away on March the 5th, and we probably won't be seeing it back until the next F1 game. So this will be our last chance to play it for a while. Stick around right to the end of the video to see why I had this reaction. So we're kicking things off with a round at the Bahrain Grand Prix, as per usual, using my Thrustmaster T598, which you can clearly see on my webcam that I'm thankful I had on for this recording, because it captured that reaction you saw a little glimpse of. But anyway, into turn one. Absolute chaos. We're down in 19th place, so nearly last place, so not the most ideal place for elimination mode. We managed to just about avoid all the chaos, but we also do get an illegal overtake. Although, look ahead of me. I kind of feel like the notion of an illegal overtake goes out the window when about half the grid is clearly on a very low connection. I don't know who the host was. I think they may have been in their local McDonald's on that Wi-Fi, because it was terrible, and about half the people ahead of me were ghosting, milling about. It was, I think, quite literally 10 wide at one point, because there were about 5 cars off circuit and 5 on it after turn 1. But we've managed to just survive that entire ordeal. We're in P9. We send it down the inside of P8, of course, in elimination mode. It's all, you know, the FOM generic car fixed setups, I believe, I think, as well. So, yeah, not the best feeling under braking, especially into some of these trickier brake zones. Anyway, you know, in career mode, let alone when you've got a base car with fixed setups where everyone's in the same boat, and we make the most of it, and we're up into P8. But already at this stage, I felt, because of that lap 1, I don't know how likely it is we're going to be getting a win. I'm going to try my hardest as we get past another car into P7, trying to get them as quickly as we can, because remember, that timer on the top right is the elimination timer, and you don't want your name to be up there when you're within that box, because then the pressure is on. Thankfully, we've got 10 cars still to go until we're there. Actually, now it's going to be 11 as we're up into P6 using the esports line on the right-hand side, although I don't know if that's going to make any really difference with a fixed setup, and it's not going to make much of a difference when I get punted at the rear end into turn 1 there. Very subtly, you would have seen the back end slow up. So now we have to repass P6 and contend with maybe still some high aggression from the drivers behind. We can see about 5 cars, I think that is, on the mini-map on the bottom left on our screen. So that gives me a little bit of hope about maybe getting 5 positions, is the car ahead of us has a massive issue on the rear end, and maybe we've got an AFK driver, as that red X denoting the AI has taken over. So it's a free position. We're in P5, but I am not seeing P1 and 2 on the mini-map, and if we can just about see them, I think they're quite far ahead, as we've got 1 car maybe off. That may be another free position, so it's coming towards us, actually. Potentially that might be second and first up the road. 3 seconds is P2. The podium is right there, 3rd place, but we want to try and go for that P1, the win of elimination mode. I think it is in sight. Maybe there is a chance. We're going to try and get past P3, who, again, I mean, this entire lobby is just a full-on lag fest, clearly. I don't think anyone has not had the orange icon next to their name, but we make quick work of P3. P2 with a fast lap of the Grand Prix. You can see very clearly nose to tail with P1. So I was really hoping and, you know, keeping my fingers crossed that they were going to be fighting each other. And look at that, as one of them sways aggressively left. We set the new fast lap of the Grand Prix. So we're the fastest man out there, gunning for 1 and 2. And I'm really hoping this is going to be a Rosberg v Hamilton in 2014 situation. A duel in the desert between the first 2 drivers, where they slow each other up so much that maybe we can gain. But we're down to 7 people, P7 being eliminated in 7 seconds. So very quickly, time is not going to be on our side. We're down to 4 drivers, and I would be next eliminated. And for a moment, P4 decides to cut the corner and try to put me in the drop zone, but he will be eliminated. I'm the next driver, though. In 10 seconds, I am going to be the next one on the chopping block. And you can see with me shaking my head, I had to accept we were so close to maybe keeping it going for just 1 more elimination cycle, but I was done. P3. That was our first race hopping on this game, on this recording session. So it was okay, but obviously we're going for first place. We got the win. Now we're coming to Spa, which I actually welcomed. I think we'll go better at Spa than we will around Bahrain. Bahrain's a very tough circuit, and it's not one of my strongest anyway, whereas Spa, I think we have a better chance. P10, again, there's a little bit of lag. I was very worried about hitting that car ahead of me, but there's a little bit of ghosting going on into turn 1, three wide, and well, there you go, just the usual sort of stuff. F1 open lobby, standard practice there as we get punted on the rear. We've thankfully kept it going, and we've actually, oh, bloody Nora, the car ahead of us having an absolute mare there. So all of a sudden, this has actually ended up being a pretty okay lap 1. I mean, we were completely side on at turn 1, and we've ended up now in the P4 as we try and gain on P3. We've got a lot of time to work with now when it comes to the elimination windows. We go for a late lunge on the outside. The car's a little bit off circuit. We're a bit off circuit, but we managed to squeeze our way through into P3, and then oh my god, I mean, my face tells it all. I was so surprised, one, by that contact system right there, and I was very sorry. I was really feeling quite bad for whoever was driving there, because I didn't mean to do that, obviously. I didn't think that was going to happen, but I think, again, the lobby is so laggy that the contact system there was abysmal. Like, that should have been nothing more than a love tap, but I think I lagged inside of his rear tyre, and that spun him. So we have to continue on. We're cool, calm, and collected now as we focus back in to the task at hand as we catch up to a very vibrant-looking car. I think that's the Miami livery from V-Carb last season, is it not? P1 with a bit of a lag symbol over him, so we're just being a little bit cautious, maybe, not wanting to dive in. And also, on purpose, we're saving a lot of ERS, because I know it's going to be crucial to have enough battery to, well, not only overtake him, maybe, but to use it, but really more so to defend as soon as we overtake, or try and push away and break, you know, that 1 second, because just like on offline, just like in career mode, online, the DRS train, the slipstream, it is ridiculous, and it's easy to stick with someone on this game compared to previous F1 games, so you really do need an excessive amount of battery to get away. So that's why I'm hardly using it. We've got a nearly full yellow bar as we gain, and now it is time to overtake with DRS, and we're still not using battery. Just gonna save it till when we make the pass. The DRS is strong enough down the Kemmel straight to hopefully get this move done. A little bit of defensive work needed, but we still give him the room to work with the left-hand side, I must say. But then mid-corner, he just couldn't keep it actually side by side with us. And then I just lock in, basically, on lap 3. Wasn't really concentrating on what the gap was. And all of a sudden, you will notice in the top left, it just goes from like 1.8 to 2.1. Still climbing, 2.3. So I was just zoned in at this point. I didn't even realize we were gapping this guy by this much. So we can, after this point, relax. We've got so much battery to work with, and we're not getting caught at this stage. So, you know, this one was a pretty simple, straightforward one after lap 1. It is going to be the dub here in elimination mode, but I wasn't fully satisfied with that one, because yes, it was chaotic on lap 1, but after we had made a pretty simple DRS pass, I didn't have much work to do. There wasn't that much jeopardy involved, and I feel like that's the fun of elimination mode, is sweating a little bit. You know, your hands get a bit clammy because you see the timer coming down. Maybe your name is going to be next, and that's when the win can be really satisfying, whereas that one was a little bit of a walk in the park. So we're going to wheel this one back for a third time in this video and try and go for a dub again, and this time we go back to Bahrain. So immediately this will probably be more of a challenge anyway, just because I'm not as quick around Bahrain as I am in Spa, as I said before, but this is going to end up being a lot closer, a lot more tense by the end of it. As we get off underway, it's going to be well, probably another bit of survival in the first 2 turns. We do make a little move down the inside, but we get pushed wide, and we go for a very similar line to what we did in the first race around Bahrain. Again, like clockwork, we get an illegal overtake. Still just don't agree with, at that point, I just don't think it matters really about a legal overtake when you're just trying to avoid cars, but it is what it is, and there's a 5-car bowling going on right ahead of us. We've managed to survive. You can see me grinning and smirking away just because it's like just ridiculous, the lack of etiquette going on here. We've got Fernando Alonso, apparently, in his spare time, rocking up and playing elimination mode in a V car. Is the Aston Martin that terrible in real life, mate? That's unbelievable stuff. So we're racing against Fernando Alonso, this is. Can we try and make a move? We know he's going to be a tough cookie, but once we get past Fernando, then we have a mountain to climb, though. 4.5 seconds to try and catch up to first place. That's a lot, but lap 2, and we're still not past Fernando. He is a very tough cookie to overtake. We know he's got all that wealth of experience. Wily old fox. He knows how to defend, but we're just sticking behind, waiting for the right chance, and this may just be it, as we can dump the battery off the hairpin, up the crest, then down again, lock up on the front left. We turn in very aggressively to completely shut the door on Fernando, and we're going to try and push away at this point. We've saved that battery up on purpose now to just try and blitz it, break that 1 second, break that DRS, and then try and chase after P1, who is still a good 4.7 seconds away, 4.4 now, so clearly we've got a bit of pace about us, and we go and set a fast lap of the Grand Prix, and we've just got to keep on banging in fastest laps to try and catch him. The gap is 3.7. We go into the next lap. It's another purple. We're bringing the gap down to 2.5. We could do this, but this is more like it. I'm really having to push really hard to earn this win. Lap 4, we are 2.5. The gap is stabilized somewhat. It's coming down from this point onwards in the lap. The first sector is kind of equalized. When we come through to this next section onwards, in sector 3, and a little bit of the end of sector 2, I feel like I have the advantage. We're a little bit quicker through some of the high-speed corners, just floating the car in. So we're getting there. But also, remember, the top right, it is getting a little bit close now. We're under 10 drivers, 8 drivers to be exact, and the gap is only 1.6 now, 1.7. It needs to come down a little bit quicker. We need to be getting that DRS. It's another fastest lap of the Grand Prix. What's this, like 3-4 fastest laps in a row? We're absolutely giving it some welly in order to catch this guy. Lap 5, we're down to 5 drivers. I think now, even though I don't want to, we need to sacrifice dumping this battery just to break inside the top 10. Just to break inside 1 second. I don't want to be down to single digits of ERS, ideally, but needs must, just to get that crucial DRS, just to give us a bit of hope on the straights, to be able to save battery like that and gain further time on the straights. We're going to be soon down to 4 drivers, though, so this is where the pressure starts to ramp up, but this is what I was talking about. This is where elimination mode is at its best. When the pressure's on and you just start getting a little bit nervous. You know, even me, I'm getting nervy that we might not be able to catch him, but we're getting closer and closer. You know, 0.7 of a second. We've got the DRS. We're now saving battery at the same time, so we're trying to set this up. Probably for the next DRS zone, we could get just a bit close to maybe make the dive in that last sector. And, oh, it's a little bit of a mistake from P1 there. A little bit of a squirrel on the rear end, as we'll be down to 3 drivers. It's Fernando Alonso. You've had a good time. It's time to go back to the Aston Martin, lad. You've had a nice bit of time off here on F1 24, but please go drive some real F1 cars. He's going to be eliminated in 19 seconds, and now it is just 1v2. And we're as close as we ever have been, it feels visually, but actually it's about still 7/10. It's still not guaranteed. 6/10, 5/10, less than half a second as we now get to my name tag being at the top, and it's 0.3 of a second. We're there. We can make the dive into the final corner maybe. But the timer, you may notice, has glitched out of the top, and little did I know. Yeah. It ended like that. The lobby glitched out. Migrated host. I don't know. I just genuinely don't know what happened. We are left dissatisfied, unable to go for that win. Most typical way to see off elimination mode in F1 24. Typical F1 24 stuff. If you have enjoyed it, though, hit the like button. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. I'll see you guys round. Goodbye.